Why is it that so many agents that I'm talking to are so concerned about the brand of their company, and they say they're not going to get listings, they're not going to get leads? The truth is the only brand you need to be building as a real estate agent is your personal brand. We're going to talk about all of this and why it is so important for you to have a personal brand and the flexibility in order to create a personal brand at your brokerage next. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane with the Real Estate Agent Playbook, talking to you today about personal branding. My goal is to help you get a win every single day in the game of real estate. And if I can help you do that, that's a win for me. So if you're here for the first time, please like the video, throw me a comment, subscribe if you like it. And if you really like it, hit that notification bell. We love the engagement. We love to build this community. It's growing both on the podcast side as well as the YouTube side. And Instagram now as well. So please head over to all the things, do all the things, and hopefully you like this one. So I've talked to a ton of agents, whether it's, in my coaching side, within my organization, or just within my brokerage or masterminds that I'm a part of. And I often run into this same constant thing. Why do we need a personal brand? What's it going to do for you? The one question that I can ask that can shut it down is what happens the day that you want to leave your brokerage or you want to, take your business in a different direction. Will you be able to, pick up right where you left off, or will you have to restart from the very beginning? And the truth is, if you spend all of this time, pitching into, a brokerage brand, whatever it is, and you have all of their branding, all of their stuff, everything, you're hiding behind, their amazing marketing platforms, their amazing tech, all the things that truthfully every single brokerage offers. Then what happens when the time comes when your agents ask you, why should I choose you? If you have to turn and say, well, because I work for this brokerage, you will be way behind, because the agent coming in behind you is going to talk about their strategy, their personal brand, what their reach is. Plus, they also have a brokerage in order to, put there and have the numbers and all the things. Not to mention, some brokerages have, 87,000 agents in 28 countries. And so when you start to factor this in, and you have the flexibility to build your personal brand within your brokerage, because we all know that we have to have our license hung at a broker, under an employing broker, under a managing broker. If we are the managing broker, we have to have our own brokerage operation, our own brokerage name. And then we have all of the things that come into, the advertising rules and all of that from state to state. But when you can bolt a personal brand onto, the things that the brokerage offers that, the consumer would be interested in, then this is where your business can really take form and you become an entrepreneur versus just like an employee of a brokerage with this is all you have, right? It's almost like the brokerages are cruise ships. So if you need a special marketing thing, whatever, you need to go out and get it. So under your personal brand, you can bolt that on to your brokerage brand, and you are doubling the value that you can offer and the reach and the noticing and all of the things that the general public will see in you and your personal brand versus just the brokerage brand. So then you say, okay, that sounds good. My brokerage is very flexible. They allow me to build my personal brand as long as I'm within the guidelines. I can, change colors as long as I leave the brokerage, logo and all those things. And it's within the state guidelines. So where do you start? How do you define your brand, right? What's your story? What do you want your brand to look like? How do you want that to be portrayed, right? What is your core message? That's where I would start. Start with your core message within your target audience. What's the message you want to deliver to your specific audience? And start to think about how that looks, right? A lot of times when we think about branding, we think about, the colors and the logo and all of the things. Super important, but not your brand. Your story should be intertwined within your brand so that you can portray that, right? We are most equipped to help the people that we were 3 years ago across the board. That includes our clients, in our personal lives. Where were we in our real estate journey? Were we renting? Were we, in our first home? Whatever. You're able to kind of, not to say that you have to be, exactly where you want to be for your target audience, but the core messaging needs to be there. And then once you have that, you have your story, then the color and the logo kind of all come into play. Then it's about being consistent. Show up with that brand across all brands, across your social media, across your website, across your print marketing, across your emails. Everything you do should have that brand and look and that brand and core value in your story. And so kind of work through this, and all it takes is just to be consistent. The number one thing, no matter what it is in this industry, that separates the winners from the losers is consistency. If you do a consistent lead generation, strategy, and you're consistent at it, it will work. If you have a consistent brand, you're consistent at it, you stay up, it'll start to take form, and you'll be happy you did it. If you are saying you're going to prospect for an hour and you're doing cold calling and you're doing this and that's what you're doing every single day for an hour and you get consistent, you're going to get better at it. Anything you do, we have to allow for consistency to take hold so that we can improve and perfect our craft. No different here in the brand world. Get your branding right, get dialed in, and make sure it's consistent across all platforms, all messaging, and all that you do as a real estate agent. Okay, so now let's dial it in a little bit on social media. How are you going to utilize these platforms? A lot of people talk to me about social media. We need to first off carry that brand, right? Be consistent across channels. But I talk to a lot of people because of the nature of our group, because we get the Social Agent Academy for free and we're partnered with Mike Sherrard. I get a lot of questions about social media. A lot of the people that join us are very interested in growing their social media or have a social media presence. The ones that are just starting out, how do we take form? Pick one platform, the one that you use the most, and slowly incorporate your life into that, right? I get it. There's, and I'm here to tell you, you don't want to have your kids on, you don't want to have your personal life on. That's okay. The camera doesn't always have to face in. But if you're looking at building a real estate brand, we need something that people will identify with, right? Real estate is hyper local. So if you're out to dinner, take a picture of the restaurant sign. You don't have to post it when you're there. No one will know, right? So if you just take a picture of food or whatever, interview the manager, whatever that looks like, you can put that information on there. Then you tag them. You're starting to grow that local presence, right? But the point is, choose one platform, get greatly consistent at it, and continue to dial it in, right? That's the biggest thing. So, for instance, if you're choosing Instagram, you can use stories for just quick, daily, this is what I'm doing, day in the life of a real estate agent in Denver, Colorado, or wherever you might be. And you can kind of start to do all of the things because people are going to identify with you where you're at in your life, right? Sure, we'll have, people that are on either end of the spectrum, just getting in, buying a home and were referred by somebody that's in your cohort or, somebody that's downsizing or moving to, senior living or something like that maybe, isn't your direct avatar that will also come in. But the people that are going to identify are the people that are within your lifestyle. They're doing the things that you're going to do. People that are going to the parks, with kids and that kind of stuff. Like all of that stuff is part of your life. So quick, easy stories. Again, you don't have to post them when you're there. You can wait till you leave, whatever. Be safe among all else. But just make it quick. It doesn't have to be super refined. It doesn't have to be super edited. But if you're just documenting the things that you're doing in and around your town, people will be more interested in that. Then we can start to incorporate some of the real estate stuff, right? Showing a house, that's fine. People love looking at houses. But then if all of a sudden, if we go from somebody who's in the fitness world to 100% all you're posting is houses and market stats and, strategies, then that gets people a little bit like, what happened here? So you want to make sure you filter that in. But the way we do that is actually expand more of what we're posting within our stories, more, personal type things in those stories and in those posts will help draw those people in, right? I love sports. I live in Denver. I help coach real estate agents. I used to coach basketball. I have 3 kids. So all of that stuff is filtered in, especially in my short form content. But most of my posts are reels and posts about real estate. But since I do have the stories and I have the diversification of all the things on that platform, people can kind of see it. It's not just like real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate. It's a lifestyle piece of Denver, right? I go to the Broncos training camp. I'm going to do a little video on that. I incorporated my kids into that one. I have the Broncos, so I'm local in Denver. So it just makes sense. It's my lifestyle that people are like, oh, hey, he must be from Denver because there's a big orange Bronco on the top, pinned to the top of his, so on. And then they're like, oh, he actually knows what he's talking about the market. So you just kind of filter these things in. And as we continue to do this, we build that brand, right? And my brokerage, EXP, and the group I'm in, the Wolfpack here on my shirt, my hat, like that's stuff that I rep. It's part of the brand. It's what it is. However, my real estate brand is Jeremy Kane Homes, right? So it's just part of all of it, right? This branding, EXP, more branding towards the agents, right? The agents that I want to join my organization. If that's you, click below, we can chat. But it's a whole different thing. And then Jeremy Kane Homes, right? Orange and blue, right? The orange sunsets of Colorado, the Broncos logo colors, like all of these things. There's all reasons for that because that's where I'm hyper local, right? With the Wolfpack and EXP, I'm global. So there's differences and there's differentiation between my brand, but ultimately it's all in the real estate space. So when we really break it down, what your brokerage offers helps launch you, right? If it's, great marketing, great, templates, all the things, that gives you the launch and the foundation to do what you need to do, right? As you grow, you build this personal brand and you take some of these tools, but you want to build your own, right? Even if I had the very best templates in the planet, I would take those templates and add my personal brand touch to them and put them out, right? That's where I've been. I've been here 11 years. When you're first starting, I get it. Get going with the tools that are offered. They're free, they're whatever, and then you're good to go. And once you do that, like start putting your own touches on it, your own closing gifts, your own, sign design, your own stuff. And then that personal brand will start to take over. We still have the foundation over here, but we're still building this house of this personal brand that people are starting to identify with, that people are starting to follow. And then we're just, okay, how do we maintain and grow this? Right? Consistency is the key, as we've said a million times. And then once we're there, then it's just engaging, right? Especially on social media. Respond to those comments, engage, be in the DMs, engage with your target audience so that they can see that, right? First and foremost, people will see you as you go. They're Denver, you're in the same restaurants, you're doing this, you're doing that. But then start to engage with those people so that it grows. So then maybe they're like, hey, Jeremy Kane, he's a real estate agent in Denver, right? And you start to grow and you start to engage just as you would, before social media existed, right? You're going out, you're going to a Rockies game, you're going to a Broncos game, you meet up with a couple of friends and they're like, hey, how's it going? You're doing that. And then before you know it, you see someone or they see someone and they're introducing them to you and so on. And your personal brand starts to carry, right? No one says, hey, this is my friend Jeremy when I'm at a Bronco game. He's at EXP Realty Jeremy Kane Homes. No, they say he's a real estate agent, right? No one cares where I work or where I hang my license, but they do care that I'm a real estate agent. And then I talk to them and I start building and infiltrating that conversation with my personal brand and what my strengths are and, just who I am as a person, right? So my personal brand goes across, professional lines, and it's how I live my life, right? It's how I carry myself. I don't mention, I don't say, hey, do you know anyone who wants to buy and sell? I want them to know that I can bring them value. If they are an HVAC contractor or electrician or whatever, I can bring them value. So I'm working, I'm digging in to see exactly what they do. Is there anything I can do to help? This is all part of my real estate brand, right? Instead of me asking, do you want to buy or sell? I say, hey, is there anything I can do to help your business or your life? And if there is, then it comes into play. Then I'm like, oh, well, I'm a real estate agent. I have a ton of clients that could absolutely use that. Or I move people into, that town often. I would love to, give them your card and say, go check out your restaurant or whatever that is. That's all part of my personal brand coming into play. Nowhere in that conversation does it matter if I'm at Remax, EXP, Real Broker, or whatever. So just kind of understand that this is how we do it, and it becomes a lifestyle, becomes a part of your story. And if we can carry it across, recreational, fun, entertaining, business, networking, all the things, then it's really easy to get behind that personal brand. And the orange and blue, logo that I use for my production side, that's just part of it. That's just so people can kind of relate to it when they see it on the emails and they see that kind of stuff. But other than that, it's me, it's Jeremy Kane, it's who I am. So just understand, I understand that your brokerages are great, but the only reason that people are saying, hey, are you with this brokerage, is because they don't know any better, right? They don't know any better, and you probably put it out there that you're not with that brokerage, so they're asking you why. Why shouldn't they hire this broker from this luxury brand? Or why shouldn't they hire an agent from this luxury brand? Because all the agents that know anything about luxury must be in this small box that pays, a full commission and no cap and all the things. No, absolutely not, right? So as we kind of put this to bed, understand that what you're projecting is probably that brand kind of awareness, and that's one of the things that you lean on, right? You lean on your brokerage brand, when in all actuality, your brand is what's going to win you the listing. Your brand is what's going to market the property, sell the property, do all the things. So why don't you put that on the forefront, take that to the mountaintop, and see how that changes your entire business as you go. So I hope this helps. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Go start building that personal brand, get consistent, and then work on scaling it and growing it. We'll see you next time.